This, I think, might be a first. We never spontaneously call Professor Andrew Fraknoi. We always kind of schedule a thing a week or two in advance where he can come in and talk about what's happening in the skies. But there was news coming across the wire today about a planet that's been discovered. They have primarily very similar aspects to it that Earth does. And water, maybe some life, the temperatures livable. And so with us to discuss this, nice enough to come on the phone at short notice, is Professor Andrew Fraknoi. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Now, this is pretty unique news, and that we also understand that you've known about it for a few days, but you couldn't really talk about it because of whatever. But now it's public knowledge.
JAG order.
Tell us what we don't know about this new planet. What is it, 581c?
Right. It's in the big problem with planets is that we've discovered so many of them we don't know how to name them. So we give them very boring names. We name them after the star which they orbit and then give them a letter. So this particular planet orbits a star called Gliese 581, and so it has the incredibly romantic name of Gliese 581c. Nevertheless, the dumb name hides an incredibly exciting discovery, which is that we have found the smallest planet orbiting another star ever found, a planet which is only about 5 times as massive as the Earth. We have found, just to fill your listeners in, about 200 planets now around other stars. I think when we first started talking about astronomy on your program, we had maybe a dozen or so, and it's really grown in the last few years.
Is it because we've been talking about it on our show?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
In fact, many of them are called Mark and Brian planets.
Cool.
We just don't advertise them.
Mark and Brian Planet C.
Now,
there you go.
Obviously,
we've only been able to find really big ones. The method we use is we can't see the planet directly. The light from planets is too dim to see from far away. But as the planets orbit their stars, they make the stars wiggle a tiny bit. We call this the wiggle method, the technical name. And so imagine you've got this big planet orbiting a star. The star's gravity pulls on the planet, and the planet orbits. But the planet's gravity also pulls on the star, and so the star wiggles ever so tiny in place. And those tiny wiggles are now detectable, and we've gotten better at getting tinier and tinier wiggles, and this is the smallest wiggle ever found. And what's exciting is that the planet is around the kind of star and is in a kind of position where the temperatures are right for liquid water.
Which means water, which could mean life.
Which could mean life. Now, we don't know if this planet is solid, like the Earth, or made of liquid and gas, like Jupiter. But either way, it's in what we call the habitable zone, the region around the star where the light and heat combine to make it okay for life as we know it. There's no guarantee that there are radio listeners yet on this planet. We don't want to get our listeners' hopes up, but it's a very exciting discovery.
Now, Professor Fraknoi, now that this planet has been discovered, and obviously there is temperatures ranging anywhere from freezing to 104 Fahrenheit, we read, and that does mean that there could be water. How do we, from here, go about studying this planet to find out more information?
Well, that's an excellent question.
Thank you.
It's not easy, because the planet is 20 light years away, and each light year is 6,000 billion miles. So we are not like sending a probe there tomorrow. We are not going to send volunteer astronauts. It's way too far away. And the star is very, very dim. The planet is even dimmer. So gleaning information from the tiny bits of light that reach us is going to be a long, difficult challenge. We're going to use the biggest telescopes on Earth. We're going to try to get as much information as possible. We will try perhaps to see if the planet eclipses the star, if it moves in front of the star, which might tell us more about it. Some planets are caught getting in front of the star and reducing the star's light, and that can tell us how big they are. But it's going to be tough slogging. It's not nearby enough to reveal itself easily.
When did you find out about this discovery, Professor?
Well, those of us who work in publications and help the media often get these stories a couple of days in advance so we can digest them. But we're not allowed to tell until the day it comes out. So I had it about 2.5 days ago, and I've been sitting on it. I've been dying to tell my students, and it's just not till this morning is it to be made public. And you understand why? Because it's the privilege of the discoverer to get the credit, make it public, and it's the institution that does the work. So we who interpret it should wait until everybody's had the same chance.
A person as passionate as you concerning these sort of discoveries, what'd you do when you found out? Did you go out drinking? Did you tie one on? We celebrate?
I'm not the drinking type. I more did a little jig in my office. I'm dying to go to class and tell my students about it.
Right.
What you have to remember is that already this is part of a whole chain. We've already found planets just a little bigger. We found lots of planets a lot bigger. We're making better equipment to try to find planets even smaller. So although this is a big news story, for astronomers it's part of a whole chain of discovery, and we're hoping that within a year or two we'll get even smaller planets for you.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but are you saying, and how many light years is this planet we're speaking of? 20 light years away.
Light years.
Are you saying that is the closest planet that we've discovered so far?
No, it's not the closest. It's the smallest. We actually know a planet about 10 light years away.
But that has water, that has the same sort of...
No. That's a much bigger planet.
Okay, well, my question is this the closest planet we've discovered so far that has water in that same sort of, like the Earth?
We can't say for sure that it has water, but it's not only the closest planet we've discovered that could have water, it's the only planet we've discovered.
Isn't that amazing?
It's very interesting. Allow me to ask a stupid question.
There are no such questions as stupid questions. If you don't know the answer, it can't be stupid.
Okay. Now that we know of this planet with the temperature like Earth and the possibility of water, and now that we know the exact location of it, obviously being 20 light years away, we can never go there. But if we can hone in on that exact position that the planet's in, do we have the technology to send a signal, say a radio signal, or something? And if we do have it, how long would it take?
Wow, you see, now there was not a stupid question. That's in fact the question that all astronomers are right now asking themselves is, we have a whole program called SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, where we do exactly what you suggest. We try to listen in for radio signals from possible extraterrestrial civilizations. And this morning, Jill Tarter, who's in charge, the great scientist in charge of this program, has already been interviewed to say that, yes, this planet, this star system is on her target charts, and that indeed we will be not so much sending, but listening for any possible intelligent signals.
Because they have to have a specific location to kind of dial it into their equipment so that we can focus in on that area and listen to that spot, right?
Exactly, because there's way too many stars. There are hundreds of billions of stars in our own little island or Milky Way galaxy alone. And so we don't know which stars to listen to, and we try to make good judgments. Clearly, the presence of a planet with the right conditions, this is a very good piece of information to put it high on the list.
All right, Professor Fraknoi, do us the favor, if you would. Obviously, this is an extremely exciting time in your world, and you're going to be learning a great many new things in the coming days and weeks about this planet. Would you let us know when you have a compilation of some new facts about this planet? Would you call us back and go on the air and share those?
Absolutely. And again, we expect not so much about this planet, but other searches like this to reveal other planets like this. In some cases, we may know more than this one. So yes, I'll be glad to keep you and your listeners abreast.
Professor, hopefully I'm not planting an evil little seed here, but when are you going to start charging us?
Actually, you know what? I get emails and letters from your listeners, even though they're not in my geographical area. You have such a wide reach and such wonderful listeners. It's just a delight to get some of these letters saying how glad they are to have heard me on the radio. I think that's reward enough.
All right, one last question, and that's good to hear, sir, but one last question. And I... look, we understand as laymen when you say there are billions and billions of stars in our little world of our galaxy. Okay. That we understand. You put it in words that we can understand. In your opinion, and I know you can't give an answer, but it may be for your opinion, what is all the way out there, or is there all the way out there? As deep, as far, as deep as deep. What is there another side?
We really should smoke a joint before we have this conversation.
That's a question for a longer discussion, because what we mean by the other side and what you mean by the other side might be quite a bit different. What I can say is that with telescopes like the Hubble, as we look further and further out, we see many, many other islands of stars, many other galaxies, billions and billions of other galaxies, each with billions and billions of stars. And it's that idea which makes us think that it would be ridiculous if the only place where there was a Mark and Brian show was here on Earth.
There you go.
We have the best.
Right.
Nevertheless, there must be intelligent civilizations amongst all those stars and planets,
of course,
out in the universe.
It's mind-boggling, and we should have smoked a joint.
Did you ever see the cartoon Horton Hears a Who?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you should show that in your class.
Oh, yes. Very much the same idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Professor.
My pleasure, as always.
Congratulations on a great, exciting time, and you will keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Talk to you soon. Professor Andrew Fraknoi. This guy, as we sit and talk with him here on the show, this is exactly what his classes are like, probably times 10. You would look, I would think that you would look forward to the day that you got to go to his class.
Yeah, everybody's standing. I bet he had the longest line in when you're signing up for classes. Yeah. You going to take Fraknoi's class?
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for him. He knew 2 days ago, couldn't say a word. He was busted. You know he was.
And what was the thing? There was the astronomers did know of it, but they couldn't publicly speak about it until something was dealt with or signed. Or
I guess the guy who discovered it was officially, thanked or whatever. He can get his papers in. All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll come back a little late second in a minute. I was looking for something. I've lost it, and I'll come back for it. If it. No, dude.
I'll be happy.
And the Mark and Brian radio program, 95.5 KLOS.